Oh my goodness, a Duchess is in the building. I'm excited. How are you guys doing? I am so sorry. I know I was supposed to start this at like 6 o'clock, but people love to constantly just call me and interrupt me and like do the most. So I had to kind of postpone. But we're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that have been happening. At first, like a normal person would not want to do a reading on Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, who would want to? But I decided to basically, I don't know, I think I probably coaxed myself into it or talked myself into it or just asked if people wanted me to do it at first. And I realized I was like, there's nothing for me to really be too afraid of or too concerned with because this dude likes to, go after guys anyway. So I don't think I should be concerned. Then I remember I was like, let me pray. Let me open up my Bible. Let me just open it up and see what scripture got to say to me really quick. And I read something out of, I believe it's let me see, chapter 105, verse like 13 or something. And it said something to the effect of like his anointed, no one shall harm his anointed ones or prophets. So I was like, ooh, that's beautiful. So that made me feel even more comfortable or so much better, given the fact that, I feel like I'm covered. I like to make sure I'm covered, I'm good before I, jump into something that is brand new. So Jeffrey Dahmer's birthday is May 21st, 1960. Okay. So we're going to find a card that's going to represent him. I believe he's on the cusp. So I think he may either be a Gemini or a Taurus because it's towards the end. So I think that's like kind of cusp energy. But I'm going to use this King of Swords here. Okay. Um, Given the fact that this is more air energy, we're more so dealing with the fact that maybe there's something going on with the mind as well. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with consciousness or just dealing with mental problems, essentially. So I felt like maybe this card would be more suitable since it has a sword in his hand and everything else like that. So we're just going to shuffle up and see what the energy has to bring. I ask that all my guides, angels, step around me, protect me, and allow this person to be in a space of restraint from when he was last in presence of this realm, and allow us to communicate like we are doing a regular interview that he loves so much. He gets so enticed. He's like, "Yes, I love TV." He's like, I love the camera. He's obsessed with cameras. Funny enough. So, okay. I'm gonna tell you something. So his card is in the center here. Okay. He's basically showing me this Four of Swords. Um, Honestly, basically, that could talk about the people that he has targeted in the past or the ones that have been laid to rest or him laying to rest, essentially. Just dealing with a lot of situations pertaining to either lost loved ones or, being in a space of rest in the past, the Four of Swords. He was in this position of describing this Four of Swords to me as if, like, basically with this documentary it has like kind of reawakened him in an interesting way. It's like bringing him back to life. That's the interesting thing. He was like, in the past nobody was really talking about me. It was very quiet. I was just basically allowing my rest to be what it is. No one really was really concerned with me. um Present moment, the situation is the three of pentacles. He seems to be extremely upset at the fact that people are making money off of his name. Hmm. The people are making money off of his name and he's not receiving, I guess, anything for that, or he feels that something should be given to him in a sense with the Three of Pentacles. Something needs to, like, there needs to be some sort of monetary contribution or dedication to him in some sort of sense, because he's placing this Three of Pentacles in the situation. All right. On his crown, we have the Four of Cups. So Four of Cups energy. Basically, it seems that he seems to be acknowledging some aspects of drug use or just dealing with drugs in general. I don't feel that he, or maybe it could just be also dealing with alcoholism, because this is a card of complacency, you know, just basically drinking, doing different things like that. And maybe that's what he wants. I don't know if people are just like so interested, or maybe certain people, it's like Halloween season with October being present. Um, Certain individuals, I'm just going to tell you what he's requesting. I don't know if people are going to follow it or not, or try to do it, but he's requesting like certain, having some sort of possession over alcohol, or that kind of taking over his mind, if that makes sense. So it's like maybe there was just, maybe the alcohol induced some sort of, okay, so the alcohol induced some level of demonic energy, that he couldn't really snap out of, that probably triggered certain aspects within his brain, because he keeps pointing to the back of his brain and his frontal cortex, specifically. So he, that was a big debate as well, talking about his brain and his brain being able to be used in order for psychologists or whomever to kind of examine to see what's going on with, with his state of thinking, with his mind. Why was he like this? What was going on with him? And his father refused, but his mother wanted to get some sort of clarity with that. He's acknowledging something here with this King of Wands in the root. And I kept feeling this because I'm sure we all watched the Netflix series dealing with Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, he's upset. He's letting me know he's upset. He wants some sort of something. I don't know what it is. Maybe, like I said, maybe libations, I'm assuming. Maybe something to that effect. Maybe I mean, it's not enough. That's what I keep hearing. Like, he's very insatiable. Um it's like if you're going to use my name, you might as well build me a statue kind of energy. That's what I keep feeling from him. And he's kind of smirking at me right now. That's interesting. So he's just like that, like dead serious. And he's showing me this King of Wands energy in the root. So King of Wands energy is very spirit. So basically he's letting it be known that his energy is very present. But I keep feeling like he is also pulling in another individual into this situation. And maybe this could be just talking about his the aspects of dealing with okay, so he's describing to me there was somebody, and I keep feeling like it was the let me just put these down, because sometimes the cards can get in the way while I'm like naturally channeling. So I keep feeling like there was an individual that he did something horrible to, essentially. We've seen the documentary, and it kind of went over everyone's story. But he felt like there was a particular person. Oh, and he's making it very clear to me now. Okay, that makes sense. With this king of rods, it's basically describing an individual who was very athletic. Because he keeps showing me certain men that he was in love with, that he's describing to me. He's saying that there were certain individuals that I was like truly in love or infatuated with, and I never really, like, I basically fucked it up, if that makes sense. Because essentially he feels like if the alcohol really didn't take over his mind, like control his thoughts and control his actions, the way that it did, because this Four of Pentacles is a possession card with the Four of Cups. There's a lot of fours going on. Even with this, let me show you, there's so many fours. I didn't realize that. 444. Four of Swords, Four of Cups, Four of Pentacles, 444. He feels that he would basically have a lot of like a balanced relationship with someone. The first person that I keep seeing was his infatuation with the athlete. I think the hitchhiker. he keeps showing me. He's like, I'm like, he's still obsessed with this person. This person's energy is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, I should have got the fuck out of there. Like, when I sensed that something was off, basically, he's extremely upset. But he seems to be the root cause of it because it keeps feeling like this person was trapped inside of Dahmer in a strange way. I'm trying to like basically comb through the energy and figure out what's going on, but there's something that he did that basically he felt that Dahmer felt very remorseful and empathetic and upset about what he did. But then it's like he switched it off and then it turned into something that was in a sexual nature. I don't want to get into too much details because I don't want to deprive the first man of his manhood. You know what I mean? It's very messed up when, like I said, when you're targeted or you go through certain situations and you may come off as a straight male. I'm straight. I like girls. I like girls with, that's what he's saying. I like girls with blonde hair. I like girls that, that are cool. I like girls that are very free, very much like out there, hippie like, just very easygoing. I like girls. He's making that very clear to me. And I'm assuming that this was his first victim because he's saying, I like girls. So he's very much like alpha male, American boy kind of energy. And it just seems like someone took advantage because I'm looking at this Lover's card. This is from Jeffrey's energy. He still feels that he has some sort of love or connection or some sort of okay, that makes sense. He's saying that was my best way to express my love. I tried to express my love the best way possible, but he couldn't really. It's clearly a problem when you can't handle rejection, when you think that if somebody's rejecting you that, oh, you don't love me, you know what I mean? Or that, you can't take that and say, oh, be friends or just be chill, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like extremely, it's like an extreme for him. That's what I keep sensing. It's a big extreme for him. He feels that, oh, that's okay, so that makes sense. I'm sorry, it's like downloading energy. He's coming in and telling me that Jeffrey did something to him in a manner that lovers do that he was not approving of, that he was unhappy with. And I keep feeling that this person's energy was like literally like, I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. Like this. So he could hear him. That's what I keep hearing, is that this dude was in his head. This person was in his mind like all the time. His first victim. I'm assuming, like I said, I'm assuming it's like the athlete or one of these guys that are a bit more athletic, works out, maybe the runner or somebody that was hitchhiking or somebody that's very athletic is what I keep seeing. He did something to him that basically defiled his manhood. There you go. That makes a lot of sense because, that makes so much sense. And the one card that I keep seeing is the Justice card, basically. This King of Wands, I'm assuming, like I said, first victim or somebody that's more athletic, was very much on his ass. Like, that's what I keep hearing. I was on his ass. Like, I was on him. Like, I was not going to let him just get away with this. I was on him. And I keep sensing that this person is telling me, he's saying to me, essentially, he removed himself from being in the forefront or being noticed by suburban America or white America, like taking his obsession and addiction to other people or places where he couldn't be seen. But he's like, I know that justice was going to come eventually. It's kind of interesting because with this reading, it's like I'm focused on Jeffrey, but also at the same time too, it's like there's certain victims or certain people that are kind of like stepping forward and just like snatching the microphone, you know what I'm saying? And basically voicing themselves. And I think maybe that's important too, that the victims need to basically have a voice. I'm very much spiritual. I will allow energy or the spirits to just kind of communicate what they want to communicate. So I'm cool with that. Like, it is what it is, you know. He's like justice. Like, yeah. I'm not going to just be his victim. I'm not going to just accept the fact that they're going to just defile me and put me in a movie and, you know, do all these different things and allow this man to get some sort of attention without me getting my payback, is what he's saying. He was very much this king of this king of wands energy is like dominant, very dominant energy. Whoever his that victim was, like I said, you all may have watched the movie, I'm assuming, or watched the series. He, like I said, very athletic. And I keep feeling like maybe it's the hitchhiker or a runner or one of those, or maybe it's a combination of both, because I keep feeling like some sort of athletic energy, but also he has that orange here. He has like, he's very, you know, stern, very bold, is what I keep feeling. But he's like, I'm going to fuck up your love life. Whatever you did to me, I'm gonna fuck up your love life. This 2 of Cups, like, I'm fucking up your love life, like, all the way. And I keep feeling like he's showing, look at this, another 4. All of the 4s came out. That's crazy. That's insane. That's in crazy, right? I was about to say that's insane, but I said that's in crazy. I guess so. Look at that, all the 4s at the bottom of the deck. This is the 4 of Wands. So somebody that was in his home, specifically. So whichever one was in his home, I can't really remember their names or what's going on. But all these 4s came out. This is, I've never seen this happen in a reading before. Four of Pentacles talks about possession. 4 of Cups talks about depression, alcohol, drug abuse. This was in the past. This 4 of Swords, basically rest. You know, no one's really, you know, just being in a space of rest, which most of them were at the time, just dealing with all of this unrest that they put him through. Look at that. This is insane. I love doing these readings because this is what makes me so happy. So I might as well just keep doing what makes me happy, right? So this King of Swords is talking about being 4 of Wands. Look at that. Death card. The Devil card. The World card, exposing. But they were trying to usher in some sort of energy with this Chariot, trying to pull something in from another realm or another world. Wow. Okay. So I'm assuming what they're trying to pull from another world, okay, because he's basically saying, this is what's going on, okay? I was in the home, death, using some sort of way to bind people's energy or use their source and power in order to dominate their energy. That's what I just keep feeling. It felt like a very strong pull in order to be noticed in the world. So keep in mind that I believe Jeffrey Dahmer was Satanist, so he was doing some weirdo stuff. There has been rumors, and I'm going to ask him about this, but and this is interesting because with this Chariot card, as you can see here, we have like this man on a chariot, but we have these Sphinx. We have a black one and a white one. It's like doing some sort of experimentation. That's what I keep hearing. I'm doing some sort of experimentation in order to come back into this realm. Wow. Okay. That's a part of the plan. Wow. Look at that planning card. 7 of Pentacles. That is a part of the plan. Okay. Let me shuffle up these cards again. Let me put my plug in really quick. So as you all know, I do have, you all are able to book me. I have my schedule. I'm going to open up my schedule to you all a little bit more so that way you all can reach me and do all that other fun stuff. I will put all that information in the description box, or you can just basically come and follow me on Instagram at QueenProdigy369_ or QueenProdigy0369 on Instagram. You can hit me up at QueenProdigy369@gmail.com. But also, if you just go to either my bio or wherever, you can basically book me wherever, or email me, or it's just easier to book me, in my opinion, because you have options. I made it for you all so you guys can use that. It is $45 30 minutes if you want a personal session with me. So I just want to put that out there really quick. All right. Oh, this is good. So how about we talk about the Empress and the Ten of Cups, which talks about his mother and family life. I think that's great. He's very directive, very much, he likes control. So I'm going to let him have his control, basically. Wow. I must say, yo, he's really fixated on his mother. He has a lot to say about his mother. So we're going to focus on that. Relationship with his mother. He's describing it as the love was very poor. 5 of Pentacles. The love was very poor. Ace of Cups in the subconscious mind. Every time that I tried to start something new with her, it's like she would shut me down. That's what I keep feeling. She would shut me down. She made it very difficult. 5s. She made it very difficult. 5 of Wands. Arguing. Fighting. That could be within the home, within the family. That could be within her marriage, within himself, her, all of these different things, these different arguments that were happening. I keep hearing she didn't love me. So that's how he feels. He's showing me this 10 of Swords. Like, I always felt like, oh, okay. So he's showing me with the 10 of Swords energy. He's like, I always felt like I wanted to probably off myself. Like, excuse me, forgive me. So I believe in life, me personally. So I don't condone that whatsoever. So I ask everybody, that needs some sort of help or anything with suicidal thoughts, please go seek help. I don't, approve that. I don't support that shit. But that's what he's describing to me, is basically that's how he felt that he wanted to do to himself. He felt like he was dying every day. But it was like kind of like feeling like he was a ghost, just existing and watching, just watching his family life crumble in front of him. And I think that within his childhood, he felt like the aspect of death was so fascinating to him, because it's like basically how something can be animated and then no longer have control over itself anymore. But he keeps expressing that he was too chicken shit to do it himself. So it's easier to redirect that energy and put it onto somebody else, because essentially if your parents are kind of disassociating from you, you can basically disassociate from everybody else, because if your parents don't love you, who is everybody else to you? In his mind, the way that he's describing his thoughts to me, it's like, this is my paradigm. This is my realm. So everything else is kind of like, is secondary. Yeah. Everything else outside of me is secondary. You know what I mean? That's the thought process that he had, growing up and into his younger teenage adult life, etc. Let's see. Speaking forward with his mother, 6 of Wands is in a situation. So he feels that there was something that he failed at. Maybe that's just the relationship that they had, or maybe it's a situation to where he felt, I'm going to tell you what it is, because he's telling me right now. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to pull out these other cards. He secretly probably wanted to harm his mother. I'm not going to lie. Because it's showing me this Death card, the Moon card, and the High Priestess. He's talking about some sort of extramarital affair that was going on. I kind of feel like they were probably pretty vague about Dahmer's, family life, essentially, like a bit vague about his family life, a bit vague about what was going on. They kind of got into the aspects of pregnancy as well. So with these specific cards, you know, the mother's energy is here, and it's just showing me the moon card. So it's like basically dealing with some sort of indoctrination through her pregnancy. Oh, wow, you're really talking today. Dealing with some sort of secret initiation or indoctrination in the pregnancy. He felt that he should have killed her from the time that he came out of the womb. That's what I keep hearing him say. Anytime my voice gets deep, I keep feeling like they have control and they just kind of say what's on their mind. Um, so, or that he was unsuccessful at getting to her. He couldn't find it in himself to do what he did to the other men to her. Like he just, maybe it was just something to where oh, okay, so he's saying my brother was stopping me. Um, you know what I mean? Like basically in this space of like having this desire to successfully do something to his mother, but being unable to do it because he's concerned about other people or I don't know how to explain it. What other people think. There you go. He didn't want to bring too. Oh, okay. I didn't want to bring too much attention to myself. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Page of Swords energy. He was always curious, always watching, looking, always observant of other people's behaviors. He had certain choices in his life to be different or to choose different things within his life. But again, there was a lot of infidelity that was going on, and I'm assuming maybe he was upset about about just dealing with the emotional stresses of extramarital affairs in his family. You know, it wasn't just regular. Like, you know, he's like just like showing me a white picket fence and like everything's normal. You know, there's a jock. There's like all these normal things. His family life is not normal. The Sun card. Basically, she gave up a lot. It's showing me here that she was extremely independent. She had a lot going on for herself, and she's extremely feisty, is what is being described here with this Queen of Wands. And the Sun card, I'm assuming, you know, it's like initially being elated that you're pregnant and going through all of these different things, and you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, but it seems like it's such a complete paradigm shift for her because she seems very opinionated, strong-minded, and it just seemed like maybe the father just wanted her to be at home. Look at that. So, 10 of Cups, dealing with family. 6 of Swords. This all just kind of coincides with what is being talked about in the movie. Having a family, moving on, trying to move on peacefully, trying to be alone and build up my strength. You know, it's like focusing on herself because it's like trying to move on, be alone, but at the same time too, she neglected her son with this Hermit card. This Hermit card can be, especially with a reading like this, it can be extremely isolating when, you know, you don't have a parental figure to basically give you any guidance because they're not mentally prepared to solve their own personal dilemma or problems or issues that they have going on within themselves. So I find that to be quite interesting because everything honestly truly does start within the home. Everything really starts with how we treat our children, yo, like for real. Even with this nigga behind me, like for real, people just foul. But take care of your kids, man. Tell your kids you love them, my nigga. Like, okay. How about we talk about when he went to prison? I don't know if anybody has any questions. If you want to ask questions, feel free to ask them if you want to. But I'm just gonna just keep moving the energy around because I want to talk, you know, just kind of like go through whatever he has to say or whoever wants to kind of come through and speak. Okay. Come on. I'm gonna light some sage really quick. so I gotta clear the energy. It seems interesting because when he's talking about his mother, that his heart got very heavy. His heart got extremely heavy when it came down to dealing with his mother. Um, but I keep feeling like he was taking that energy from his mother, the blockage of not feeling loved. It's like not feeling loved. Like I keep feeling like he's like his younger self is being pushed away. And I feel like he's expressing that frustration through what his father taught him, because on a scientific level, on a bonding level, his father was there for him. But at the same time, I think that his mother was extremely dismissive, and she kind of looked at him the way that she looked at the father. You know what I mean? So I think that made it very difficult for her to really love him the way that he wanted her to. Is what he's describing to me. The way that I wanted her to. And that's why I keep feeling like he's saying to me that I am remorseful. It's different when you cross over from the physical realm into another world. It's like you can feel again. That's what he keeps saying. When she was pregnant with me, there were a lot of different things we saw in the documentary, medications, mental issues that she was dealing with personally. But he came from, it's so funny because he's kind of showing me that his spirit came from, it's like being reincarnated, but I keep going back to like Germany for some reason. I don't know if his relatives are in Germany or what's going on, but it's like Hitler. I keep seeing like an army of people, like old video of like, World War II, like a soldier, and then being reborn into America, basically. And then I'm gonna tell you guys a couple of things that have been happening before I even did this reading. I'm gonna let you know. I was posting or just basically asking you all if you all wanted me to do this Jeffrey Dahmer reading. And the first thing that kept happening was his face would disappear, like completely disappear. And in the background, it was just showing the fire. It's kind of interesting. Then it would reappear. Then when I was scheduling this reading, I initially had it for 6 o'clock. But again, people want to call, people want to, okay. And I had to kind of push it back and get get things settled in and everything else. So then I was setting the time to like 7 o'clock or 7:30, something like that. I think it's 7:30. But the time, for whatever reason, it was scheduling itself back to December. I can't remember the date. I don't know if it was December 31st, 1969. Like, what the fuck? One of his victims, I don't think that one of his victims was born in December. I'm not too sure. But I don't know what the significance of December 31st, 1969 is. For him, he would have been 9 years old. But maybe there was something that may have happened to him in December. December, like New Year's, when he was only 9. I don't know what that's about. But the only victim that I could find that had that year, that was one of his victims. I think his birthday, his name is Christopher, and his birthday was July. I want to get it right. Oh, I had whatever, an appointment. Oops, my bad. Anyway, but his birthday was July 1969. That's what I remember. Like that's the closest victim's birthday that I could find. So it's kind of interesting when, I don't know, just dealing with that kind of energy. Okay, he's getting into some nitty gritty shit. Here we go. Everything started off as love, in a space of love, or the most, anyway. In a space of love or commitment. dating, I'm assuming, just going out looking for love. Um, but this was a part of his plan. Okay, he planned this out. Um, so he's showing me the Seven of Pentacles. This was a level of a plan. Okay, so he's showing me that he's being extremely calculative in his thought process when he's choosing certain people, how they respond to things, interactions, constantly staring, making people feel desirable. He seems to be very much into social manipulation, is what he's describing to me. Um, I would never give them my emotions. He's placing this King of Cups in the situation. But I also feel like there's some sort of level of detachment with his father as well. But with this King of Cups, it's developed this level of narcissism or selfishness or not really being compassionate towards other people. When I see the King of Cups, it's like in a situation, it's basically like reverse. That's how it comes up in the reading. I don't have any emotional. Oh, okay. It's like every time I get my throat choked up or something or whatever, it's like someone's like talking. So it's like I don't have any emotional. I'm emotionally detached. There you go. I don't have a deep connection to the situation. Is what he's describing. Here we go. I fought them, and this is what I did to them. They all fought me. They all tried to fight me. Some of them were easier than others. But even when they crossed over into the other realm while he was physically present, they were all attaching themselves to him subconsciously. So that's the interesting thing, because I pulled up this Five of Wands in the subconscious mind. They were all fighting him in his subconscious mind, like trying to stop him or get in his way. It's kind of like literally attaching yourself into the frontal lobe and like kind of flashing your face in his face. That's why he kept IDs and stuff, because it's like it's like basically imprisoning them. But it's like doing some sort of spiritual thing. Here's the thing: Ace of Swords, by force, doing things by force. The Chariot card, lurking around, driving around. He's saying that the movie made it very okay, so the movie made it very much like very spontaneous, is what he's describing to me. The movie made it extremely spontaneous, but with this planning card, he was basically, after a while, I would assume, he was planning these things. He was watching people. This is not a situation to where, sometimes you may meet certain people and hit it off or whatever. Yeah, but there's certain people that he deliberately planned. Could that make the drinking worse? Like him trying to block it. That makes a lot of sense. I think so. I mean, alcohol has a level of doing that to you. It can definitely, and look at that, the Temperance card, again, kind of confirms that aspect of dealing with alcoholism and fighting that. And even with this King of Cups in the situation too, that has a lot to do with alcoholism. Wow. Speaking of which, he's like, look down. Again with that Four of Cups, drinking. But it's like, okay, so he's describing to me, it's kind of like two different split personalities, okay? Usually with the Chariot card, we're talking a lot about Cancer energy, but also not being able to really have fully control over your emotional or mental state of being. Because we have this here, like the Chariot, this is how he wanted to be seen. He wanted to be seen as very regal, in control, using magic in order to manipulate aspects of success and doing it in a way that was a bit braggadocious. It's like if he was going to, if he, wow. Okay, if he, it's like basically he's showing me like Anton LaVey. So like, and he's smiling. It's so crazy. He's sitting there smiling and he's talking about Anton LaVey and saying that the Church of Satan didn't take it further enough for me. I was just on another level that they weren't ready for, and I needed to explore. That it's just straightforward. That's just kind of what he's describing to me, and he allowed the alcohol to kind of black him out, if that makes sense. and something else to take over. That's what I keep feeling. Allowing something else or another part of himself to take over, in order to, basically drink. You drink, go in by force, let out your rage, fight. You know what I mean? Fight. Feel like you're a man, kill. But, it's in this space again. Look at that. The Two of Cups. Somebody's giving them a cup, getting together with somebody. This energy right John is in the building. And funny enough, he's positioned, I kind of put this card down, but he's positioned upside down. So I'm assuming this is kind of like going into a darker energy. Look at that. I keep on getting this King of Wands energy. Four of Cups. King of Wands energy. He lied. Somebody feels like they were lied to. We were supposed to go someplace. Maybe it was that concert or whatever it is, but family get-togethers or something like that. But it's like being lied to. Somebody feels extremely deceived, bringing somebody home to meet their family. It's like someone basically, I keep feeling like with the King of Wands energy, I keep feeling like it's probably coming in from a couple of different angles. The first set when I pulled out the King of Wands energy was very athletic. But there was somebody that might have been extremely interested in him, and they feel lied to or they feel deceived by him because it seemed like they were, that they were putting in this effort of showing some sort of stability. Oh, let me meet your family. Let's talk to your family. Let's get together. Let's do all of these things. But with the Seven of Swords here, it's like you lied. You lied to me. That hurts because I keep feeling like, again, that alcohol got the best of him. And it's like basically allowing this possession to take over is what I keep sensing. It's like allowing a possession to take over. But after a while, it's like within his consciousness, within his awakened world, within the present moment, he became okay with it. You know what I mean? He became more accepting of it. It's like honing down this energy. He was working on something. It's like trying to master, pull in an energy or a specific force to work with him or to give him more success, to give him more money, to be seen as somebody that is popular, somebody, that could be like a celebrity or a guru or something. It's like he desired it. He desired it. He desired it. That's what I keep feeling. And that's where the grotesque behavior comes from. Look at that. Three of Swords energy. So, betrayal. He feels like, okay, I put so much investment into like this whole fame thing. Like I said, I keep looking at like Anton LaVey and like all this other stuff, and now I'm kind of looking at Jane Mansfield and stuff like that. Like believing something and then feeling like you didn't receive what was promised to you if you do something. So betrayal. They always betrayed. They always went to work, right? They never stayed. He wanted them to stay. He wanted to control them. He wanted to have probably, sleep with them, do certain things. Work. Three of Swords. That's when they broke my heart. That's when they hurt me. When they would try to leave me. With this Knight of Wands. When they would try to leave me. It reminds me of my mother. Interesting. So this reminds me of my mother. Judgment. That's when they receive their judgment. That's when they receive, whatever hell that he has to give them. Defeat. He felt like every time that I tried, and I keep feeling like that anger coming in, every time that I tried to keep them with me, I would promise them that I would take care of them. I would promise them, I would do all these things for them. Yeah, it's like literally like being the devil, like dead ass. It's like he was the devil and he wanted them to stay. Just all you have to do is let me love you. Stay. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. Let me take care of you. and everything will be fine. But if you leave me, you're going to work. Look at that with the hammer. You know, you're leaving me alone. I'm lonely. You're leaving me alone. That's what my mother did to me. Look at that. That's how this all happened. This is my heartbreak comes from my mother. So if you're doing that to me, you're reminding me of my mother. Like you're reminding me of my mother. You know what I mean? So he felt justified in being able to hurt other people, basically. Um, that's crazy. I have to cut it off there because I'm like, yo, this shit getting deep. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's very interesting. I like being able to do these readings because I am I have my bachelor's in psychology, so I find it interesting when I'm pulling in different energies and just being able to see how their mind works, or just feel or just try to express the disconnect that they may have had within their lives and how they have projected that onto everyday society, um, and or within their relationships or whatever they may be going through. You know what I mean? So it's quite interesting. I don't know. He keeps. Let's do that. How about I do this? You make that card come up, Jeffrey. So he keeps telling me, "Can you find the devil card for me?" And I'm like, "How about you make it come up?" We're just gonna see how this all works out, right? Y'all see me shuffling the cards, basically, because there's something. It's like something about. Okay, so he's saying alchemy. Okay, look at that. This is crazy. This card was at the bottom of the deck. This card keeps coming up with the Two of Cups. Look at this. So, and I think he wants me to put more emphasis on the design of the cup, because we see this Two of Cups, and we always talk about love, but since we're not talking about love, it's talking about connection or being able to pull in somebody's energy. As you can see, there's a lion's head with the wings, right? And then we have the two snakes, and it's kind of looking like that medical symbol. What is it? Trismegistus. Okay, so it's like pulling in that energy, pulling in somebody's energy. Just trying to take somebody's essence. It's like one person has darkness, but maybe this person has light, and I'm trying to pull in their energy. I'm trying to absorb their energy, in some sort of a way in order to shine, because it's looking at the Leo, because Leo energy is very much, dominant with boastfulness, with ego, with pride, with fame, with like, yeah, look at that, like with the hospital symbol. Look at that, it's crazy. He keeps throwing this Two of Cups back at me. So I'm gonna put this on in his subconscious mind. Wow. He has like, wow. Oh, crazy. Sorry, I'm just like the cards that I'm seeing right now. I'm like, this is crazy. Okay. So we have the Fool card, Two of Cups. I make them think they like me. I make them think that they're in love with me. They're foolish. They're stupid. They're careless. They're not seeing where they're going. Okay, look at that. So this is in the past with the Four of Cups. Again, drinking, medicines, all this different stuff, medications, but a lot of drinking, with these cups here. He would get really drunk, and bring these people to him, and he would just transform into another thought process, is what he's telling me. The Nine of Pentacles, I want them to be comfortable around me. That was my goal. I wanted them to be comfortable around me. Wow. Okay. Now this is something quite interesting, because I keep feeling like I just jumped ahead into something that he's showing me. There were certain things that he was selling on the black market. I'm not going to say too much out of any disrespect or anything like that. It's quite crazy. But he's definitely showing me that Page of Swords. I was definitely obsessed. I was definitely watching people. I was definitely stalking people. I was observing them. I was constantly watching them. He is very much embracing that the fact that he planned this. Look at that, Seven of Pentacles. I planned this out. You know, I planned everything out in my head. I planned this out. You know, Seven of Wands. All because they didn't want to stay. They are my possessions. That's how he sees it. That's how he feels. They belong to me. That's what was going through his mind at the time. Now, something definitely shifted for him, and he feels that with this particular victim, and I feel like this is the baby. Oh, my heart breaks. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm holding this card close to my chest because it's like, that's the 14-year-old, that's the baby. And I'm just like, come to mama, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just hold you. Like, it's okay. You know, with this Page of Pentacles, and it kind of looks like that individual too, kind of how it was kind of cast in the movie, but he should have stayed in school. He keeps saying I should have been in school. I should have, you know, listened to my parents. Star card, you know. I keep getting that he was destined for other great things in life, but I think that he just got so caught up in a lot of emotional issues. He's talking about dealing with abuse at home, and also feeling like maybe this person that he thought he could trust would allow him to be himself. But it just turned into a nightmare because he feels like his parents were right. So we have this Four of Wands energy again being brought back to his place, or being brought back to Jeffrey's place, and then the Tower card. Okay? He felt like the universe was trying to intervene in order to save him. To go back home. But it's just kind of strange because the Tower card, again, it's kind of like something bluntly or violently happening, and then he's able to try to escape or get away. But again, going back to what we were, you know, talking about, I keep feeling like when I'm in Jeffrey's mind, from a methodical standpoint, this is how he saw it. He's like, you know, from my space, he can see that I have like a compassionate, loving energy towards that you know, towards this particular victim, the youngest one. But he sees this as, this is going to break me out into the world. This is my opportunity to shine. So the World card often talks about the internet. It talks about being able to reach different levels of different dimensions, being seen. You know what I mean? I keep saying this. This man wanted to be seen. He was apprehensive at first about making that choice or decision, as far as the child is concerned, the 14-year-old, you know, because he was like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But then again, with that drinking, it just kind of took over his mind. He had a lot of nightmares after he did what he did, particularly with the child and his mother. He's talking about his mother, this child, connecting with the mother, and she's not sleeping. She couldn't sleep. It's like as soon as it happened, he ran to her and told her. He would come in the dreams. He's saying, I'm older now. I'm older now. I'm living a different life. I have more stability now. And if anything, I'm kind of taking my aggression. He's kind of showing me force. He's kind of saying, I'm taking control over this situation. Whenever I feel like I want to fuck him up, that's what I do. Because I didn't have that choice to grow up and be an adult. So now I get to fuck him up whenever I want to. He has a different life. He's starting something completely different and living a different life in a new space. So that's a good thing. I'm happy to know that, you know, very happy to know that he had a choice. He did it in secrecy, in the moon, you know. Usually with this moon card, like I said, there's danger on either side, and that crab energy is just crawling through, trying to get, you know, to a certain path, and you know, it could end up in danger. Secrecy, you know. Ace of Cups, somebody putting something in my cup. Look at that. So it looks like a pill was being put into a cup, and he's telling him to drink the cup. Here, take the cup. Okay. Knight of Swords, forceful, striking energy coming out of nowhere. It's like he didn't wait for him at all. Like, wow. This King of Wands energy is heavy. Other people watching him. They lied. Look at that. You lied. Same thing. Look at this. This is crazy with the Chariot card. We were talking about these cards earlier. The same cycle, same lies, but this was a baby, you know? And I think that with this person's energy here, I think he was trying to help that boy escape. This athlete, the first victim or the first person, the athlete, was trying to help him to get that baby away. And these people are so stupid. You know, they're just so oblivious. And, you know, it failed. You know, look at that. It failed. And I think that athlete guy feels kind of sad about this too. It's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. But I think that when this breaks down towards a child, it just hurts, you know, because people on the other side are trying to assist. They're trying to get that baby out of there. Call the ambulance. That's what I keep hearing. Call the ambulance. Like this this King of Wands is like, call the ambulance. Like, get him out of there. And he felt so hurt that, you know, that he couldn't help. I want to ask, do you all have any questions? Because I'm about to basically wrap this up in the next, 3 minutes. So I want to see if he had any racially motivation. Like, was this racially motivated for him? Or did he just target people of color or certain individuals and kind of removed himself from targeting white males to targeting people of color because of the climate of how he was living? Or was it, you know, did he specifically try to do that intentionally? um so let's see. I'm going to, all right, so this thinking man, I'm going to use the thinking man energy because it's similar to the King of Swords energy. Does he hate women? I would assume so, especially if he has a very unstable relationship with his mother. But I feel that's kind of like to where he keeps saying, I was too pussy to kill my mom. Like, I was too pussy to kill my mother. If I would have done that, I probably would have been locked up and I probably wouldn't have been dealing with all this shit at this moment. So that's why he has a level of adoration and respect for people like his grandmother. So I think that's where he draws the line when it comes to women. But I think that when think about it. Your mother disappears, so you feel absent. You turn to your father, and he's turning to another woman to satisfy his needs and neglecting his son. I would really get pissed off at the dad at this point because that's probably the person that you connect to the most, but you love your dad, right? So it's like it's very confusing. You know, it's a lot of confusing energy. So since I can't express this, and I don't feel like I can express this, and I'm just going along with what other people want me to do, and I'm just taking orders and taking orders and taking orders, you know, fuck that. I'm going to express myself through this level of, like mutilation is what he's describing to me. All right. I'm just trying to see if certain people, was this racially motivated on a level? Wow, okay. Interesting. So he's showing up again as this thinking man energy. We're about to wrap this up really quick. He is showing me that he did like a girl in the past, maybe like when he was like younger, but maybe she just kind of moved on, and uh, you know, I guess maybe that just kind of disassociated himself, or she was caught up into something else. Um, but he's placing this Archangel Ariel card in a situation, which talks about the female sexual desires and sexual energy. But like I said, he has a lot of respect for women, but he is not sexually attracted to them if he's putting Archangel Ariel's card in the situation. Like there's no real desire. The only thing that turns him on is when he can tie up, people. Wow. Okay. Kind of like some weirdo BDSM to the extreme type shit. Like that's what he's into. Um, the Magician in the Mirror. He was using this aspect of alchemy. It's like he keeps talking about alchemy for some reason. In this way, he has a love for science. He has a love for medicine. He has a love for all of these things. Like, as far as like with the human body, that's what I love. Being able to have that much control, or being able to use a lot of alchemy or manipulation within power absorbing energy is what he's saying. I wanted to be looked at like a Christ figure, and that's how they saw me. Ouch. I hear this bell ringing. Crazy. But it's like he wanted to be seen as like this Messiah. If that makes sense. It's like being seen as some sort of Messiah with open arms, and then when they come and get away with me, taking that action. Look at that. So it's absorbing. He's making a very clear statement, talking about how the whites always ran away. Huh. The whites always ran away, so the black ones didn't run off too quickly. Wow, okay. Interesting. But everything within his space was just a very narcissistic type of energy. It was about patience, waiting. But certain, like I said, white males ran. The black ones, some of them not too quickly. So that was a little bit more easier for him. And he patiently waited, and then he's showing me the victory card. I think for him, it was about the kill. He felt that a lot of people were jealous of him, so they were trying to mock him. He feels it's a very egotistical kind of energy, you guys. Very egotistical. Hi. But very egotistical, very very much envying. Like, don't talk about John Gacy. Don't talk about anybody else. Don't talk about anyone. Just don't talk about them. Like, it should be about me. You know what I mean? Because he wanted to show his family something. Look at that, door to romance. Everything romantic led to heartbreak. It's like he wanted them to hurt. He was very empty inside with this financial restraint card. You know what I mean? But he's trying to be in the space of just absorbing their love in a very twisted kind of way. I think that he prided himself on being able to embrace or use his whiteness to his advantage. He is addressing that. I feel that he is addressing that. Now, as he erases, he's saying, I talked to different people. I lived amongst different people. But it's okay. Now that's, I don't know. I'm going to let you guys judge. Because he just said to me, okay, because he's showing me his white victims. So he's like crying over his white victims. But it just feels like he's able to detach or disconnect from anybody that's not close to him. So it was a little bit easier. It's like kind of like I'm describing this like I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Like basically I don't want to hunt the white bunnies because the white bunnies make me cry, because they remind me of my Caucasian self. So I'm just gonna go attack the black bunnies. They're a little bit more easier. Nobody cares. Nobody's really concerned about them. So it's an easy target. I think it's more of a space of targeting. Now, is there some sort of racial, depravity within that space? Absolutely, given the fact that the police didn't care. You know what I mean? And he's very much acknowledging that, but he is saying that he was trying so hard when he was locked up, because I keep looking at that all tied up card, to kind of create like some sort of a race war in a way, and kind of get under black people's skin in order to feel powerful or superior. Everything is about power, fame, control with his energy. That's what he keeps describing to me. He always wants to be the one to have the upper hand, even if he's not trying to come off as racist, he's trying to come off as superior. Like, he's making that extremely clear to me in my mind. Like, I want to come off as superior, even if I get saved. You know what I mean? Even if I get saved, and maybe that's what I need to ask. Wow, the devil card. He wanted fame, dude. Look at that. Ten of Pentacles. He wanted fame. He wanted money. He was trying to conjure up something. He was trying to do something in order to give him some sort of talent or beauty. He had the beauty, don't get me wrong, and I think maybe that's why people were so drawn to him. But I think he wanted more. He wanted the lights. He wanted more. He wanted to find other people that were like him. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up. I already said this before, but it's just, this reading is interesting. 8 of Cups. He was running away from something. Trying to run away from a part of himself that he is probably reflecting on right now, and realizing that maybe he didn't have the chance to become. Because this Queen of Swords is coming up in the subconscious mind. But I'm just kind of wondering, I'm wondering if he could have been trans. Because it's showing me opportunity, but it's showing me this Queen of Swords. But I keep feeling like the opportunity to transform into a woman and be a woman, if that makes sense. And maybe that's just something to where he just didn't have the money or couldn't work on that. If that makes sense. And that left him heartbroken because he felt like he was attracted to men. It's very interesting. And maybe that's why he couldn't do what he wanted to do to his mother. It's like suppressing something within you. Like, I have to be a man, because that's what my dad's expecting me. But what if I feel a little bit more feminine inside? But I can't become that because the world's going to look at me funny. They're really going to hate me because I'm gay. It's like going through all these thoughts in his head. But he, again, heartbroken, not being able to express that, the three of Swords, So it's like taking that opportunity when I'm partnering up with people and I'm going out with people and we're having a good time and I'm able to get them away. Look at that with this Page of Cups. Energy, I'm able to take advantage of them. I'm able to play on their emotions. Since I can't be a woman, I'm going to play on their emotions. That's insane. And this is the result, the Ten of Swords, But I guess what goes around comes around, because you can't really sit around and play with, 1 minute you want to be a part of the light and the next minute you keep dabbling in the dark. It's like dancing too much in this, basically. He keeps chastising me about like, High Priestess, the Devil card, Chariot card, trying to use aspects of magic and using these victims for some sort of magic. I have definitely gone over the time, but thank you all for coming, joining, supporting. I want you guys to suggest readings that you guys want me to do. Let me know. I will consider them. I want to be on YouTube more often like I was before. So thank you guys for being patient with me and supporting. And I will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace out.